Hello, I'm Kim Sauer at APEC 2016 in Long Beach, and I'm joined today by Alexander Gerfer from Würth. Great to see you here. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Würth and the global environment that you're working in. Can you give us a snapshot of the various markets that you're involved in?
Well, we serve any market, but mainly and focused really on industrial applications, medical, transportation, automotive, a bit and less the consumer markets. So that's where we are, and this market is developing good and challenging because a lot of new applications come into the game, like Industry 4.0, driven in Germany, Internet of Things, and power management is one key role there.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are traditionally quite high reliability markets, but also some consumer is coming in, certainly into automotive. So if we focus on the high reliability markets first, obviously the reliability, the quality issues are very high up on what customers really need. Do you have to deal with those differently than you would with like the more not relaxed, but the less reliable consumer side of things?
Well, even the consumer side is now asking for more reliable components because they see that field failures, even in consumer applications, would drive them into high cost afterwards. So, of course, what we do is from the beginning to design in quality in accordance to mainly ACQ 200s for the passive components, even if we don't name it. Many of our designs are starting from there. There's a lot of things checked up there, but then still be separate. Let's say for really automotive-driven applications, these components again in a separate way of marketing, catalog items, especially marked on these markets, because even if the quality sits inside, the applications have different needs, different environmental aspects, which we have to be informed and to be involved in the designs to make this really best in choice of the applicable component and to be best fitting to the application and to the needs of the customer application.
So with that sort of approach and with Industry 4.0, which you've mentioned, and that whole supply chain transparency, is the way you're working with your customers and the designers, is that changing? Are you closer? Are you involved with that aspect right from the beginning to design for manufacturability?
Well, this is what we do now since the beginning, because in our market, design engineers do not like too much the magnetics, the inductors. We have learned it yesterday also here on the APEC show, again from Dr. A. Ridley, which really did bring it to the point that the knowledge about the magnetics or inductors is really very weak and does not get trained very well. But that's not an American phenomenon, that's a global phenomenon, that the high schools, universities do not go very detailed into this topic and stay very basic. What we did from the beginning is to really say we teach the users what is important on the inductors, how to choose, how to select, how to get it best fitting to the application, and then what we see also now with other manufacturers here doing magnetics, they begin to get better specs to the customers. And this is the right trend because that's what we need, because not everything is digital. We have analog, and power is analog. Even if there's a digital control loop, it's analog design. And we have to keep this knowledge really into the engineer's mind. Otherwise, the time to market would prolong because you would fail in your design time over prototype build, which does fail then in a short time and so on. So that's what we try to do really from the beginning to help the designers, with our design teams, FAEs in behind to easily find the right best fitting component for the application with all the bottlenecks or problems which could occur if I choose the wrong component.
Okay. Let's talk finally about the future a little, as far as you can look into the future. But what sort of trends are you seeing? Where are the growth areas for you?
Still, it's the upcoming things like mentioned before, Internet of Things, data communication in general. If it's wireless or wired, that's a trend. We learned just by an actual study that the hype of Internet 4.0 and Internet of Things is a bit, or Industry 4.0 is a bit slowing down because the expectations were too high eventually and too accelerated seen coming into the market. But of course, predictive maintenance is a very important point for industry applications and industrial users. So this is a thing where I can at least control or get a better hold of downtime in production lines, and by this enlarge my productivity, get better output, and so a better return of my investment in my industrial environment. So for me, I think it's only taking a longer time until it is coming to the applications and will be used. But what we do is, of course, and what we try to do is to give the best support again to the designers, that their time to market is shrinking and not taking longer as needed. Also this trend we can see, as well as, of course, any kind of miniaturization coming into the game, even here for power supply applications. But that has to be very carefully discussed also in such kind of seminars here. What is really the meaning of your efficiency measured, of your power density stated? Also it's every time a good conference here to discuss about these matters. But again, we are forced here to have right components best fitting to these applications, and we are still working on miniaturization, better materials still, even if not so many different materials are to find on the art.
Interesting. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, Alexander, and wish you the best of luck and success here at the show.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.